Can you hear it? Faintly? The sound of birds chirping and snow melting? It's springtime. And a young man's fancy turns to thoughts of steam engines. Big, powerful, chugging, mammoth steam engines running on the main line, pulling a consist of cars full of happy passengers, reliving the golden age of railroading. That's what spring is all about. And that's what the 332 is all about at the Lake Superior Railroad Museum. Thank you for joining us for another of our behind-the-scenes tours. We're going to talk a little bit about the 332 today, our working steam locomotive, or soon to be working. The most frequently asked question at the Lake Superior Railroad Museum is, when are you guys going to run the engine? Well, the answer to that is we're not committed to a schedule yet, but we are committed to running it this summer. We have a steam team that's done a great job. They've started training. They're getting ready to go. The engine is in perfect condition. It just needs a little more certification, and at that point, we're ready to put her out on the main line. The North Shore Scenic Railroad will see steam, and we'll get a schedule out so that you know exactly when to make your plans to come to ride behind the number 332 steam locomotive from the Duluth-Mesabi and Iron Range Railway. We also have something new. When you do come and ride the steam engine, you can see our Locomotive Gallery. The Locomotive Gallery has all of our steam engines lined up in it and diesels right across the other side of the platform. And on each one of these steam locomotives, there's going to be a special story to tell you its history and to tell you where it stands in the collection. And here is that story on the 332.
The Duluth-Mesabi and Iron Range Railroad's number 332 steam locomotive holds the honor of being the last operating steam engine in regular service on a commercial railroad anywhere in the state of Minnesota, and she still does. That distinction was not with the DM&IR. They sold the engine in 1955 to the Duluth and Northeastern Railroad. The DN&E was still using steam to switch to potlatch paper mill in Cloquet late into the 1960s. Now renumbered 28, the engine was donated to the Lake Superior Railroad Museum in 1974. In December of 2011, the engine goes back to Cloquet, where a cosmetic restoration was planned by the DN&E's successor, the Cloquet Terminal Railroad. As the donated work is being done by the railroad's general manager Bob Purcell and his crew, they discover that the number 28 is a candidate for a complete restoration to operating condition. The number 28, with the help of BNSF Railway, is moved back to Duluth. The Lake Superior Railroad Museum continues the work with volunteers under the direction of Mr. Purcell. Working closely with the Federal Railroad Administration, new boiler tubes are installed. Asbestos-free boiler insulation is applied under a new boiler jacket, and the engine is reassembled and tested. 5 years and $750,000 later, in June of 2017, the number 28 is alive again. Back in her DM&IR livery, the engine pulls excursions on the North Shore Scenic Railroad to the delight of fans from across the country. Working steam locomotives in North America are very rare, and you are looking at one of them.